Greetings, cross-stitch enthusiasts. Let us embark on an unbounded journey of love as we delve into Chapter 3. Exhausted and disheartened, Lauren, it's in time of the Whitworth 3 story tutor mentioned. She had driven straight for 12 hours to keep her appointment with Philip Whitworth that afternoon. 2 job interviews, a fall in the dirt, ruined clothes, and a chance encounter with the most handsome man she had ever seen. All these events had left her feeling worn out. Moreover, her deliberate failure during the Cinco interview had dashed her hopes of working near him. Friday approaching, Lauren planned to spend the day searching for an apartment. As soon as she found one, she could head back to Fenster to pack her belongings. Philip hadn't specified when he wanted her to start working for his company, but she intended to be back and ready to begin 2 weeks from Monday. The front door of the mansion was opened by a paunchy uniformed butler, whom Lynn immediately recognized as one of the witnesses from her dining room performance 14 years ago. "Good evening," he began, but Philip Whitworth interrupted him, rushing into the vast marble foyer. "Lauren, I've been worried sick about you. What took you so long?" His evident concern made Lauren feel terrible for causing him worry, and worse, for not trying harder to secure a job at Cinco. She quickly explained that her interview had not gone well and recounted the mishap of falling in front of the Global Industries building. She asked if she had time to freshen up before dinner. Upstairs in the room assigned to her, she took a shower, brushed her hair, and changed into a tailored apricot skirt and matching blouse. Philip greeted her again as she approached the drawing room's arched doorway. "You're wonderfully quick, Lauren," he said, leading her over to his wife, whose icy personality she vividly remembered. "Carol, I'm sure you recall Lauren." Despite her personal biases, Lauren couldn't deny that Carol Whitworth, with her slim and elegant figure, carefully coiffed blonde hair, remained a strikingly beautiful woman. "Of course I do," Carol replied with a politely correct smile that didn't quite reach her gray eyes. "How are you, Lauren?" Obviously, Lauren is very, very, it's very, very well, Mother, Carter Whitworth chimed in, grinning as he politely stood up. His gaze swept over Lauren's appearance, taking in her vivid blue eyes and gracefully feminine figure. Lauren kept her expression neutral as she was reintroduced to the person who had tormented her in her childhood. Accepting the glass of sherry Carter poured for her, she sat down on the sofa, watching him warily when he took a seat beside her instead of returning to his own chair. "You've certainly changed," he remarked with an admiring grin. "So have you?" Lauren answered cautiously. He casually draped his arm across the back of the sofa behind her shoulders. "We didn't get along very well, as I recall," he mused. "No, we didn't," Lauren agreed. She stole a self-conscious glance toward Carol, who observed her son's flirtation with a cool and inscrutable expression, her demeanor regally aloof. "Why didn't we get along?" Carter persisted. "I don't remember." "I do," he smiled. "I was insufferably rude and thoroughly rotten to you." Lauren stared in amazement at his frank and rueful expression, feeling her prejudice against him is starting to dissolve. "Yes, you were." "And you," he grinned, "behaved like an outrageous brat at dinner." Lauren's eyes brightened with a smile as she nodded slowly. "Yes, they did." Tentative truce was thus declared. Carter glanced at the butler in the doorway, then stood up and offered his hand to Lauren. "Dinner is ready, shall we?" They had just finished the last course when the butler appeared in the dining room. "Excuse me, but there is a telephone call from Miss Danner from a man who says he is Mr. Weatherby with the Cinco Electronics Company." Philip Whitworth broke into a beaming smile. "Bring the phone here to the table, Higgins." The phone conversation was brief, with Lauren mostly listening. When she hung up, she raised amazed, laughing eyes to Philip. "Let's go ahead," he said. "Tell us. Carol and Carter are both aware of what you're trying to do to help me." Lauren was a little dismayed to learn that 2 other people were aware of secret plans, but she complied. "Apparently, the man who rescued me when I fell tonight has a very influential friend at Cinco, and this friend called Mr. Weatherby a few minutes ago, and as a result, Mr. Weatherby has just remembered a secretarial position that he thinks is perfect for me to be interviewed for tomorrow." "Did he mention who'll be interviewing you?" "I think he said the man's name was Mr. Williams." "Jim Williams?" Philip murmured softly, his smile widening. "I'll be damned." Shortly afterward, Carter left for his own apartment and Carol retired for the night. But Philip asked Lauren to stay in the drawing room with him. "Williams may want you to start immediately," he said when the others had gone. "We don't want any obstacles in the way of you getting that job. How soon can you go home, pack, and return to work?" "I can't go home to pack until I found an apartment here," Lauren reminded him. "No, of course not," he agreed. After a moment's think, he continued, "A few years ago I bought a condominium in Bloomfield Hills for an aunt of mine. She's been in Europe for months now and intends to stay there for another year. It would be my pleasure to have you live there." "No, really, I couldn't," Lauren said quickly. "You've already done more than enough for me. I can't let you provide a place for me to live, too." Synesthesia said with kind firmness, "And anyway, you'll be doing me a favor because I've been paying the gatekeeper at the condominium complex a sizable sum every month to watch the place. This way, we'll both save money." Lauren absently tugged at the sleeve of her apricot blouse. She never needed every penny she could send him, and as quickly as possible. If she didn't have to spend money on rent, she could send even more. Troubled and uncertain, she looked at Philip, who had taken out a pen and paper from his suitcase pocket and started writing something down. "Here's the address and phone number of the condominium," he said, handing her the piece of paper. "So when you fill out your employment papers at Cinco tomorrow, use this information. That way, no one there will ever link you to me." A shiver of foreboding danced up Lauren's spine at the ominous reminder of the dual role she would be playing if she joined Cinco, spying. The word alarmed her, but she quickly rationalized that she wouldn't really be doing that. Her true mission was to uncover the identity of the traitor spying on Philip's company. From that perspective, her taking not only felt justified, but even honorable. Yet she couldn't ignore the real reason she was eager to work at Cinco. Nick Sinclair worked there, and she wanted to be close to him. Philip's voice interrupted her thoughts. "If you're offered a secretarial position at Cinco tomorrow, accept it and leave for Missouri from there. If I don't hear from you by noon tomorrow, I'll assume you got the position, and I'll arrange for you to move into the condominium within a week." That concludes chapter 3. Let's continue this story in the next video, which will be chapter 4. See you and have a good day.